So now we move on to the second session, where we have arranged presentation of 4 CSIR technologies which could be useful for deployment in rural areas. And I would like to now invite Professor Priyanka Kaushal to moderate that session. Over to you, ma'am.
No. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It was indeed a wonderful experience to be here, and nice to listen to everybody. Mantriji, very inspiring word. So with no further ado, we will now start the session. And for the first session, I would like to invite CSIR IHBT Palampur to please present their technology, which is on improved beehive for quality and hygienic extraction of honey. So the format for it would be, we would like them to present the technology for 10 minutes, and then we will open up the floor for take few questions for about 2 or 3 questions if we can take. We will try to wrap up on time, and then we will take another technology. And toward the end, if time permits, we will open up the forum for a general question answer round. So I request Madam to kindly present the technology. So our PIs, our 16 RCIs and their respective PIs have joined through YouTube as well. Some of us have joined through this WebEx link, and some of majority of our PIs have joined through the YouTube links. So we will take the query from the YouTube link and I'll share it with you.
Share video. Okay. Yeah, my video is my presentation can be visible, madam.
No, we can't see your presentation.
You are sharing this. Yeah. Now it is coming,
yes, madam? It's visible now. Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Respected Union Minister of Science and Technology, DG or DG CSR Dr. Shekhar Mandeji, and other dignitaries present. Today, I would like to present our CSIR technology. This technology developed by the CSIR IHBT Palampur and CSIO Chandigarh. This is improved beehive for quality and hygienic extraction of honey. Honeybees contribute US 577 billion to the annual global production. 1 second. I cannot see. Honeybees contribute US 577 billion to the annual global production through pollination. India is the 8th largest producer of honey. India it is exported 61,000 million tons of natural honey worth of 732 crores during 2018 to 19. The honey market in India is estimated to reach Rs 28,000 billion by 2024 at a compounded annual growth rate of 10.2%. Our main export destinations are USA, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Canada, and Bangladesh. Honey production and its quality in India is up to the mark as per the global standards. Existing method of extraction of honey is time-consuming, labor-intensive, non-hygienic, and mortality of bees. Therefore, CSIO Chandigarh and CSIR IHBT in collaboration, we have developed improved beehive and evaluated in this field successfully. Why improved beehive? When compared to the traditional beehive, improved beehive main advantage is no mortality of bees during extraction of honey. Here there is a mortality of bees during extraction and handling. In our improved beehive, it is time saving and less human intervention. There it is time consuming and you have to extract manually by using honey extractor. In improved beehive, there is the quality of hygienic and quality of honey is extracted without the wax. Here, this non-hygienic and poor quality of the honey with lot of impurities present. Here, honey will yield 30 to 35 kg or more, depending on the availability of flora and also season. In this traditional beehive, honey yield is 20 to 25 kg or more. This is also depends upon the flora and season. Or improved beehive, it is cost effective. Here you can see the how the, I will present in detail about how the external view, internal view. This is the usually internal view of the beehive. This is the our improved beehive. If you see the right side, that is the traditional normal one beehive. Here, this is whatever the frame it is there. This is the frame. It is artificially made frame. This is non-destructive sampling, and we can use reuse. But wherever it is there, that is the comb foundation sheet that should be installed in the wooden frame, where we have that is the frame used for traditional beehive. Here, this is the improved beehive. You can see internal view with the frames and key. You can see here 7 frames we can keep. How to keep the key above the slot, then you have to rotate downwards 90-degree angle. Then automatically the honey, you can see the harvesting of honey. There, honey will come directly to the at the bottom. You see the improved beehive frame. You can see this is empty. When it is filled, hexagonal cells filled with honey and sealed with wax. There you can directly see the honey bees are already filled. Wherever the honey is filled, it is ready to harvest. Then it is sealed with wax. You can see easily the white coatings. You can see that is already sealed with honey with wax. That now it is ready for harvesting. Here, these are the fabricated parts we have used. This is for making this honey frame. External view. That's how the bees are sitting. This is the actual frame. What we have. This is the main frame. Is the main part in this we have as compared to other ones. Here you can see how the honey harvesting system works. When you see the mechanism is designed to understand the natural behavior. You can see the natural behavior frame where you can see the that is wooden frame. When you see the right side design of the mechanism, when frames contain partially formed plastic honeycomb lattice with vertical gaps that are filled by bees with pollen nectar. When it is filled, then it will seal. Then when we want to harvest, you can see the array of breaking of closed hexagonal structure. When the honey is ready, then what we have to do, the alternate half of the cells get misaligned by breaking out the wax seal, and honey will flows down into the channel at the base of the each frame. What we have mentioned that I will demonstrate, and the pipe that automatically come to the bottom without this. This is the when these hexagonal cells are misaligned, it will form as a zigzag path for honey flow. This is the how honey will flow, and directly it will fall on the bottom. Here, these are the technical specifications. This is dimensions, frame dimension, number of frames in superbox 7. Here, honey harvesting capacity is you can up to 3.25 kg you can harvest. These other this is box material is made of pine wood. This box we can make depending upon the availability of the wood. Here you can see the now improved hive. This is usually this is traditional. Just I am comparing for the or improved. This is the traditional frames. Then this is wooden frame with where it is. This is the our external view of the or improved beehive. You can see the here. This is the frame we developed by the CSRI CHO improved bee frame with honey cells. Whenever this honey already our beehives are it is sitting on the properly it is sitting on the this frame. You can see these frames. Here honey is filling. Already is filled. When honey is filled, you can see easily wax. It is covered by wax. When honey is filled, then it is ready to harvest. Then it will seal with wax. You can see the white coatings. This is filled with sealed with wax. Then it is ready for harvesting. Then we have to go for harvesting. Here you can see this is the key. When you rotate downwards, honey automatically it will comes on the like this. This is the This is the this one. Yes, it's here. You have to see. Oh, I can see. I have to see. See them.
So, Professor Reddy, is there something else you want to say, or are we done
Yeah,
with the
that's all,
presentation?
madam. That's all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So, just one question, and I invite other RCI members and other members to please come up with their queries. It's very interesting, though.
Yes, ma'am.
Does it involve the box as well, like, or do we have to design the box separately, or it's just the frame that we are talking about?
Madam, this box also we have designed. Okay. This
So it's a
whatever we have designed.
complete package.
Yeah. That box, this whatever the frame is making, that frames will be fit into the normal beehives also. Now already existing one is that also fit. This beehive we have developed our in collaboration with CSIO. Whatever the frame, that is the main thing. That frame we can keep in normal beehive also. There also it will work.
Right. And is it available? Like, if I want to establish, how can I get it? Is it commercially available right now, or still in it's with you?
Pardon, madam? It is available.
Is it commercially available? If I
Yeah.
am a bee farmer and if I want to install it, is it
Yeah.
commercially available?
Yeah, madam, commerciality is not available. Now we are making the large scale this one because this is also in our floriculture mission also. We have putting this component. Then when it comes to already we have 5-6 units are there. When we are making for commercialization all these things, even floriculture mission also we are going to distribute more to the farmers. This is one of the component in floriculture mission. Now we are we have a lot of demand from different people, even KVIC also they are asking, even so many farmers also they are asking. This is also not, this is cost effective. It may come 4,000.
Cost. Professor Reddy,
Cost,
if you
madam.
could, what's
Yeah,
the
madam.
cost?
Yeah, cost we have worked out. It comes under around 4,000 because if the bulk quantity they want more bulky quantity, cost will be still we can reduce it. This is approximately 4,000 to 5,000 we are. This is not very costly also. You normal beehive also.
Right. So the conventional, traditional method of beekeeping vis-a-vis the technology that CSIR has developed, what is the cost difference? And let's say, when can they recover? Like, what's the return time?
Madam, this no, see, this if it depends upon the, suppose we want to recover the cost you are asking. Okay. First, initially we have to invest first because for initial investment is major. Then after usually one season, because when 2-3 seasons, when flora is more, we can harvest 3 times in a year. Okay. Usually depends upon the flora. We can suppose one frame, one hive, we can harvest up to 25 to 30 kg or even more. When nectar will be more, we can harvest. Initially, some second year onwards, we will get good returns. Whatever we invest second year, we can get back our whatever net returns.
So, Dr. Reddy, I have a question.
Yes,
like when we will talk about the technology transfer, so
yes, sir.
what you will be transferring? You will be transferring the technology for making these boxes, isn't it?
Sir, this making the boxes, this CSIO we decided we will transfer this technology to that all whoever they want. We will transfer it the technology. They can make also, they can distribute. They have to pay as per the CSIR guidelines.
Right. So if we talk about the value chain,
Yes,
there
sir.
are 2-3 possibilities. Like many, I mean, those who just want to do beekeeping, they
Yes.
can buy this box and use it for beekeeping. But others can go for manufacturing these boxes.
Yes, sir.
Have you prepared that kind of value chain for this the whole process?
So this whole process also we can transfer to industry or anybody interested, but that is as per the guidelines. We have to discuss with CSIO and we can transfer it, sir. There is no.
Right. And my last question is that whether this technology has been tried on different species, Many times we have seen that different design of bee boxes or different raw material by which boxes are made, they are not compatible to all kind of bee species. So have you tried this with all different bee species and different climatic conditions?
Sir, we have tried only Apis mellifera only. That is this area, North India, it is more south, it will go Apis cerana. We are evaluated in Rajasthan, Haryana, we have evaluated now again also we are going for validation, all those things again. We will try Apis cerana also, sir. Because this is same boxes, so some little modification we have to make. Then I will discuss with our team CSIO, we can make that also, that is not a major difficulty, sir.
Right. I think, Professor Priyanka, if we can invite some other questions.
Right. So I would like to invite if there are queries from the RCIs, those who would be interested and those who see that beekeeping is a potential option for livelihood generation in your district. Please, if you have any query, I invite you to put it across. And PIs also, I'm receiving some comments from the PIs. I could read it out from the YouTube channel. Mostly they are saying that it's a good technology, we should disseminate it. Most of the boxes, somebody said apparently that the boxes are manufactured. The spelling is wrong. I think we're trying to say Ludhiana. So maybe Professor Reddy could comment on it. Right? I think the technology in some form is available in the market as well, but we are working on some development. So if there are any queries, I would like to put the floor open. Otherwise, we'll move to the next technology.
Okay.
Any information we have to share?
I think Professor Priyanka, may I?
Yes, sir, please.
I was listening through this talk. It's a wonderful technology, but as of now, maybe we'll deliberate in the PI's meeting. We'll have a meeting at the RCI level. We'll come up with whatever the queries and concerns that are there regarding this technology. In Haryana also we find a scope in some districts of this kind of technology. Possibly we'll get back to you with the detailed queries or concerns, or maybe it's business model feasibility, etc. So as of now, what I can say is I can appreciate only. It's very good, and the queries by and large you have handled. I think that's fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, any other query, or we will move to the next technology? So thank you, Professor Satansh. I could see that certainly there will be some technology dissemination of this honey keeping in Haryana. So thank you.
Yes, sir, there is a lot of very good potential is there, because a lot of mustard is there, sir. Here only there we are evaluating that our behind.
That's what especially in the southern districts of Haryana, this mustard,
yes,
that's a little too much, so it's fine.
Revari we have put, sir, our bee colonies all. There within 20 days we get one harvesting.
Okay, that's very good. Then we can visit that plant as well once the situation improves and time permits us.
Right. So I certainly could see one technology transfer happening right across. So thank you very much.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I would now move to the next technology. It is by CFTRI Mysore and Professor Venugopalan, Dr. V. Venugopalan, if you are there. And I think you will be presenting the dehumidified dryer for agri products. For dryer technology, a design for dryer for agri produce.
How to? This one?
It came here also. You can unmute and speak.
See?
No, it does come, sir. It does come.
No, my audio is not. 1 minute.
Yes, we can see you. Please go ahead.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, it's audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. 1 minute, ma'am.
I can speak, sir.
The slides are not visible now.
No, slides are visible.
Okay. Oh. Good evening to everyone. Today, I'm going to present here before you the dehumidified dryer for agri producers.
This is a technology developed by our institute, National NIST Trivandrum. We have developed this technology in 2011-12 as part of a 12-year 5-plan project, and we have commercialized this for pre-processing unit in spices related areas. We developed and commercialized first for the dehydration of nutmeg. We have set up a plant in 2 tons per day capacity in Kerala. The advantage of this technology is this is facilitating a low temperature dehydration operation, which ensures uniform distribution of heat and temperature throughout the drying chamber and ensure the retention of maximum micronutrients, flavor, and essential oils, then other bioactive phytochemicals present in any of the product. So this is having a versatile application. This is a totally multi-purpose crop. So what we are targeting is during the peak harvest season, any crop it can be processed without creating the spoilage, and it's a particular solution to the shelf life enhancement. During the end of the season, the plant can be switched over to any other crops. It's a multi-purpose operation. The main features of this technology, it is ideal for setting up 1 to 10 tons per day processing capacity. We can go for lower capacity also, up to 100 to 500 kg also it is possible. And the novelty what we have introducing our technology is the energy conservation by recycling the hot humid outlet air from the drying chamber back to the system. So which will be facilitating a energy conservation and drastic energy reduction compared to the conventional mode of operation. So the market potential is better value addition for better positioning. Even export market is for major spices, and a variety of dehydrated products we are developing as part in tie-up with the state government. Especially it is related to the fruits, vegetables, herbs, mushroom, onion, and flowers of the region. So this is one of the working model we have in our laboratory. This is a pilot plant. We can see the technical features of this unit. This comprises of a refrigeration unit, a PID controller, drying chamber, and a heat exchanger. The working principle is like this. The humid air from the dryer outlet is first of all passed through a heat exchanger, which is shown as a 4 in the figure, and it is passing through an evaporator coil also. There happens a heat exchange between the refrigerant of this evaporator and the humid air, which will be resulting in the condensation of this moisture. So continuously this condensate water will be removed from the system. While condensing, this latent heat of condensation will be transferred to the refrigerant present in the refrigeration unit. Then this latent heat of condensation will be absorbed by the refrigerant and will be compressed further using a compressor inside that, and that heat of compression also will be transferred to the air, and this dehumidified air will be transferred to the, again it will be recycled along with the fresh air to the drying unit. So it will be involving a drastic energy conservation, and we can see some of the products dehydrated through this dryer, which is ensuring all the physical properties of color, flavor, essential oil, etc. First one is a nutmeg, second one is for cardamom, third one is for leafy vegetable like spinach, and the fourth one is for carrot. We already compared the data generated using with the other models of dryer like conventional type of tray dryers, fluidized bed dryers, and this dehumidified dryer. What we can see is that if the raw material is having any type of heat sensitive compounds or bioactives to be preserved, like the essential oils or flavors in the spices or any other coloring materials, the better choice is dehumidified dryer. If it is a rapid drying without any heat sensitive materials, you can go for the fluidized bed dryer. And this is a picture of one unit which we are going to implement soon with the tie-up with the state government. It is for the fruits and vegetables of Kerala, and we can integrate this dryer with the other pre-processing unit and packaging equipments for making an integrated food processing or agri-crop product processing unit. The other equipments which has to be integrated with this are a vegetable or a fruit slicer. If there is a spice, there will be another type of size reduction or cleaning washing unit. Then our drying After that, if it is a powdered product, we have to go for a pulverizer. Otherwise, we can directly go for a packaging unit. So the drying unit can be integrated with suitable pre-treatment and other equipments. So what we are offering is technology transfer, process demonstration in our pilot plant facility, and we also give the industries the test market services for their product marketing. We make the DPR, then consultancy implementation of the project. We also do, in some cases, turnkey implementation, and we also assist with the project implementation agencies during the erection and commissioning stage, and also post-commissioning assistance and product analysis and training, etc. This is the picture of our first project implementation. It was for a nutmeg, as I told. The company was initially incorporating the sun drying and other type of conventional drying mechanisms, which were creating a lot of issues through the development of aflatoxins, and they were unable to export the product. So finally, when we introduced this dryer concept as part of a sponsored consultancy project, the industry was able to make a much better quality without any oil leakage, with maximum oil content, and also there was no development of aflatoxins in the product, and they were the number one exporters of the country within a few months. The first year itself, their turnover was jumped away from 5 crores to the 12 crores after implementing this plant. The capacity was 2 tons per day. This is the plant picture before the modernization of the plant. This is the picture. We can see the conventional mode of drying. After implementing this, we have made some kind of mechanization also, and accordingly, the plant has been developed and their capacity has been improved tremendously, because there was a drastic reduction in the process time, because conventional drying operations were about 36 to 42 hours. After introducing this dryer, the drying time has been reduced more than half. It was 10 to 12 hours. So this is the second unit we implemented in one of our ginger processing facility at Wayanad, Kerala. This plant also having 2 tons, 1 ton per day capacity. First of all, we take the ginger juice out of the ginger, and after crushing and all, and then we make it for making essential oils, and the residue what they are creating after this is used for making ginger powder after dehydration with this unit. During the other models of drying, there was going to be a drastic reduction in the oil content present in the fresh ginger, and that fresh aroma also got reduced. Because of this RADD, the quality was very much superior and the oil retention was very high. And coming to the costing of this technology, we find around an investment of approximately 40 lakhs is required for making a integrated processing facility, making use of other equipments also. The dryer cost itself may be around 25 lakhs for 1 ton, 500 kg to 1 ton. That depends upon the moisture content of the product. And other equipments like slicing, grinding, sieving, packaging, etc. is required to make the full fledged of the plant, which we can implement through a turnkey or consultancy mode. Similarly, we also worked out for the similar kind of plant, we also worked out the production cost per day capacity. It is coming around 35,000 something. But on an average, if you process 1 ton, we'll get at least 300 kg of the end product. If it is a high value product like cardamom and all, the raw material itself will cost, fresh raw material itself will cost around 300 rupees, but the value addition is much high. The dehydrated cardamom is having a cost of 800 rupees to 3,500 to 4,000 rupees. That again, value is fully for the color retention. With this superior model of dryer, we can 100% ensure the green color. So it will be having a tremendous value addition, which will be graded at the supremest quality of the cardamom. So this kind of value addition can be achieved through the proper selection of the raw materials of the specific region. We are also getting many inquiries from the other states also. Recently, we are getting an inquiry from the Chhattisgarh government for setting up a green chili processing unit there. We also implementing one project. It's already in the erection stage in Thiruvananthapuram. It is for making jackfruit, banana, and other fruits of the region, and also surplus during the surplus production of this raw vegetables. They also will look into the vegetable processing. Thank you.
Thank you, Venugopalanji. Thank you very much. I have one query regarding it. It's like if you look at the price of the technology, the cost of it, and we could see that it's costly technology coming out about 40 lakh rupees of investment. Is there a scope to scale down? Because when we are talking about community or village level adaptation, we certainly like to see that cost certainly will be a challenge there. So can we scale down? Is there an option to scale down?
Yeah, we can scale down. For example, the same technology now we are going to set up in Thiruvananthapuram. It is for 200 to 300 kg capacity, and the total plant cost is around 20 lakhs, and the dryer cost 20 lakhs. Out of which the dryer cost is around 12 to 13 lakhs, not more than that. The other one more equipment we are making there installed. Total cost is 20 lakhs. So probably we can come out with 15 to 60 lakhs.
Right. So the value addition that happens in any product, what is the payback time? So let's say as a community, if I want to operate some drying process, anything, ginger drying or whatever, and I form a self-help group kind of thing or a cooperative and people coming together and they invest for it, what do you see as a payback time? Like, the value addition that happens because of drying, vis-a-vis the investment that they have done. So when would they recover the cost and then they can move into the profit-making kind of scenario?
Again, that depends upon the type of the raw material. As I said, if it is for cardamom or any other very high-value crops, if you are getting a good market for that because of that functionality or superiority in quality, definitely the payback time will be within 1 or 2 years. We can make it ensure. But if it is a routine kind of thing, for example, during the peak harvest, you are procuring some cheapest raw material and doing, but you are not able to find a very good price for that, then it may take will time. It will not be a loss. Anyway, it will not be a loss. But we should be very proactive with the market survey and other things, which is the potential source. In any region of the country, there will be some potential crop of the region to have better market, superior market. For example, Northeast, if you take Sikkim and all, their ginger is promoted as organic ginger, unlike other states. So their ginger is better valued for export market as an organic ginger. So raw ginger itself is having a very good scope for value addition. Such that we can take some material. For example, green chili. Green chili, if it is abundantly available in some of the states like Karnataka or Chhattisgarh, if you are making a green chili powder, which is not a variety product which is commonly found in the market, so it can be positioned as a good product, novel product. So like that, we have to have some innovative product and market approach also to make it more efficient.
Okay, Dr. Venugopalan, Vivek this side. I just want to know. See, you're saying that dryer would be costing around 12 lakhs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
12 lakhs for a low scale down model.
Okay. So so what is the? I mean, like what Professor Priyanka asked, like what is the viability? I mean, if I purchase as a farmer, if I purchase, so because it is not possible for a farmer to purchase a dryer of let's say 12 lakh costing, isn't it? So maybe they can buy this as a community or a common facility, isn't it? So you are saying that 200, 300 kg per hour is the drying rate?
Per day. Yeah, because a low temperature drying, it will not be fast drying like other fluid bed dryer like that.
Okay. And second thing, any period through which this dryer won't be working, like in rainy season or so?
No. That time we can plan for some other crops. Wherever this off-season period, we can go for some other crops. Throughout the year, we can work.
So I believe that this dryer will be useful where we have high value added, high value products like
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
talked about spices and all, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And this technology is ready for technology transfer.
Yeah, it is ready. We
And
already
any
implemented 2-3
any
times.
and any information you have on competition, like any dryer available in the market, which is
Competition in the sense there are few heat pump dryers available from China. Only that much. Now it is in the situation it is not there. That competition is already there. Heat pump dryers, because Chinese dryers are much cheaper than this, but the temperature control is not that precise, and they usually found some kind of troubleshooting. Only that much.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I would now open the floor for any of the RCA or others who are in attendance to put up the query, if any. So if there is no query, then I'll move to the next presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a query here? No. So thank you. So I move to the next presentation of biodegradable products from agro waste by Dr. Anjan Yalu. He is from the National Institute for Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram. Sir, can I have your presentation, please? So one query, Dr. Venugopalan, is there for you. Can we use the dry onion to improve the shelf life, and what will be the cost?
Shelf life of what?
Onion. If you could
Onion.
dry.
Onion, we already tried it with white onion. White onion is having a issue when it's getting dried by the conventional type of drying. It is changing to a slight brown color, which is affecting the export quality. So when we tried with our dryer, it was found to be perfectly white. There is no color change at all. So 100% value addition is possible. So we found the shelf life of that product is 6 months, more than 6 months. Anyway, it is up to 1 year, because the moisture content is here very less. 3 to 5% we are getting. Even we are doing immediately. We are doing proper kind of packing. It can withstand up to 1 year. Onion we already tried. White onions.
And this information is available in public domain. Like if somebody wants to have a look at it, that what was your experience? How does the cost works out?
It was tried in 2011-12 when we started our technology business incubation. So that drying characteristics kinetic data is available, because product is not there now, because already 8 to 9 years back we have done that. Kinetics data we have already have. Drying
Right.
kinetics.
So you have worked on the technology 10 years back. So I'm sure that from then to now, the technology must have matured and improved only. The common sense stuff.
Yeah, if anyone is specifically interested in this, we will make the product using currently. We can do it here, and we can send for the test marketing. That we can do.
Right. So thank you, Dr. Venugopalan. Can I now move to the next presentation? Can I invite Dr. Anjan Yalu from NIIST Thiruvananthapuram?
Yes, madam. Hello. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you and we will see your presentation.
Yeah, madam. My name. Good evening to one and all. Hello, madam. Are you listening? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, madam.
Yes, you are.
Good evening to one and.
Please go ahead.
Good evening to one and all. Now, myself, Dr. Anjanelu Kottakota. Now, today I am going to present on biodegradable products from agro waste. Generally, and consuming it causes health problem. So I remember that 2019 September, our prestigious Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they told that I think the time has come for the world to stop the single-user plastics. So because there is a huge rice husk and so many things are existing in the agriculture farmer. I saw recent newspapers. There are especially rice husk and wheat husk. There are a lot of agriculture waste. The farmers are burning is creating to the environmental problem also. And especially we can go for the cities and everywhere. How so many ways disposing the plastic cups and all. So for that, we got an idea. We should work on regarding the biodegradable cutleries from agriculture. Thinking. So we dispose of plastic cups, coffee cups for every year, and also 500 million plastic straws they are disposed. For that reason, we started working on these agricultural biodegradable products. Using 3 raw materials, 4 raw materials. The raw material rice has rice brand, and because we in outside market also different kinds of raw materials are available. Different.
Yes, go ahead. Seems like there is some connection issue here. Yes, but we can't hear you. I could see that you changed the slide, but we can't hear you.
Invest any these biodegradable cutleries, you can invest in low affordable person and community persons, and also in high level also. We already transfer technology to one company. That company have especially they are going for a huge like a high production rate. So they are producing these cutleries by using the wheat bran and rice bran in high level, like per day 500 kg prawn processing. They are producing this much quantity. So we started produce by small scale peoples like women empowerment, the especially small humans. They can run their this processing in their home also. They can have their own field for that purpose. These are the biodegradable plates, and we have I am showing that pictures of biodegradable plates. Hello, biodegradable plates. Hello. These are the developed biodegradable plates. We already tried in different shapes and cups, and also we are now developing the straw also from the agriculture waste, because now straw is a major problem. After that, we analyze the market. What are the we suppose any customer will come. For that, we analyze the market. There are different kinds of markets is available. For that, an IRCTC and Devasthan temples, darshan, and also restaurants and all the things we analyzed everywhere in Kerala. How much real production. For this is the analysis, and also any person can want to invest initial investment. This is the cost, and also we analyze the market potential in all over the world. What is the potential of that market? Generally, if you go for the India needs this much like thing. This is the advantage and silent feature of our technology. Mainly, what is the advantage is that it can be used for rural area people, and also agri entrepreneurs who will invest less investment. I told you even small people they can start with very less investment so that they can go, and also marginal people, the companies who are already plastic industries, they are going to shut down, they can also run this business. And also one of the major advantages that when you will this product will degrade within 30 days, and also the degraded product can use for the fish manure and poultry feed, because we are using only agriculture waste, we are not using any harmful thing in this. And also the main market potential, railways, railway stations, IRCTC, and also government, private offices, airport and hospitals, because these are the crowded areas, they require every day the huge amount of plastic, especially single user plastics. And mainly other value chain addition is that alternate to the single user plastic, and also it will use for fertilizer. The major advantage of this is the mainly it can be we will go for wheat bran based, we can consume also. That's why we started by using several flavors also for consumption purpose, and it's not harmful for human being when the base of wheat bran. But other raw materials we consume, we can't consume, we can degrade it. These are the things. Next. This is the market potential in all over world. We analyzed the market potential in 2019. Generally, India required 0.2 billions of single-user plastics, and also Asia region, Pacific region, next Latin America, how much is required. We analyzed all the areas, and so now there are the different kinds of clients are there with us. We transfer one technology. Other places we got from calls from the Haryana and also in Chhattisgarh. There are different people. They are already talked. They are interested to purchase this technology. This is the byproducts. Thank you. Hello.
Right. So I think you have given the statistics here, the plastic versus bran and Areca, but if you could just give us the numbers so that we could understand.
Yes, madam.
What is the cost of?
We compare with the generally with our existing products, because our plate will cost and our cup will cost. We compare with existing products. Mainly, the clients came with business regarding the plastic. They told that raw material based biodegradable available like Areca, but there is shortage of raw material for that regarding that. So that's why this is the one best. And also raw material cost also vary. People who does cost regarding that. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yes, Dr. Anjan. I have few questions to ask. First
Yes, sir.
is what kind of binders we are using in the process?
Generally, we are not offering. We are especially for a wheat bran, rice bran. We are not offering in binder. Self having the binder, because we are developing new technology. With our technology, no need of any binder. That is one advantage of this process.
So all raw materials are available locally. I mean, there is no raw material which is required from outside.
No.
All right. And what kind of power requirement is there? Because we have, mill. You have proposed there is one mill, and then you are talking about kneader. So what kind of power consumption?
Yes, sir. Actually, there are only three steps are there. In the 3 steps, each step unit operations they require some amount of power. For you can go for drying, different kind of power will be there. If you go for especially steaming and roasting, we are to steam and roasting process. We have different kinds of powers is available. But is compared to the wet process is very less. Because in wet process, grinding, kneading, dough preparation, cutting, and all the things are there. Existing, because I saw in Bangalore and Delhi, so many people they are developing that final cost will be around 8 rupees, 10 rupees. They are selling in the 5-star hotels and all. So our product cost will go in 1 rupee also. We can get it.
So that's a very, very interesting technology, especially because it is a dry technology.
Yes.
And disposal of effluent is a big issue in wet technology.
Yes.
But we have certain figures, if you can add up those power consumption, because in rural areas, sometimes, there's a problem related to power.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
we have those figures available, then suitable places wherever this power wherever this power is not a problem. Like for example, urban rural areas of Haryana and Punjab, I'm sure that kind of power crisis is not there.
Ah,
So there
okay,
this
sir.
technology can be used.
Yeah,
And
actually,
my
I am working
last
on it.
question
But
is, yeah, what kind of products? I mean, if we can use all kind of products, like for example, if we are using curry,
yeah, sir.
so
Yeah,
can
yeah. We
curry,
tested sambar, rasam because they are very hot soups now. We have tested all the things. We can utilize. There is no problem for that. We tested with our product with half an hour, 1 hour. We take all the sample. There is no leakage. There is nothing will happen.
and what about the shelf life? Because ultimately it is biomass. So have you tested for the shelf life? Like for example, in rainy season, can we keep it? Can we store it? Hello. Yeah. So my question was about the shelf life of these products. Can we store them during the rainy season? Because ultimately it is biomass.
Yeah, yeah. We developing a certain types of packaging material because the industry person also asked. Currently, we are storing the certain
So I think
packaging
6 months
material.
is also a good shelf life.
Mobile agents. Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would now request if there is any query from those who are attending the session. If you have any query, please put it across. Okay. Okay.
Professor Priyanka, you please unmute yourself.
Achha, sorry. Thank you. So the question is, are the biodegradable products stable at temperature of about 40 degrees for over a month? Or is there a tendency for them to get contaminated by microorganisms? Yeah. It's more or less, I think, related to what Professor Vivek just asked, like about the shelf life thing. In context to high temperature and the moisture content, like if there is a rainy season or if the temperatures are high, would the product be stable? Or would there be any microbes infestation into it? I think your mic is mute.
There is no
Yes, and then
problem regarding the
yeah.
Madam, we already tried with what, especially hot water and sambar, because this it's having very high 100 degrees temperature. There is no issue on that. And also we can store our product in rainy season also, no issue, because we are adding certain flavors that will be shelf life for the antimicrobial and pest. It will prevent the pest attack also. There is no issue on that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Anjanyalu. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll come to the next technology. We plan to present 4 technologies today, and we are at the 4th technology. Again, the technology is for making ginger paste, and it's coming from the same CSIR lab of the National Institute of Interdisciplinary Science and Technology, CSIR, and Dr. Madhav Naidu will be presenting it. So I now invite Dr. Naidu to please do the presentation. Thank you. Dr. Naidu, are you there? We are trying to get in touch here with Dr. Naidu.
Dr. Priyanka, he's trying
Right.
to share his screen.
Right. Right. So we are sharing the PowerPoint to present. So we are sharing the PowerPoint from our side. Dr. Naidu, the PowerPoint is up and running. So yes, you can. You may start now. Please unmute yourself. It seems like you are mute. So while Dr. Naidu is preparing to join, we plan to conduct such workshop more frequently with all the technologies that we will be identifying. And as we move forward, because now that we are already in agreement with CSIR, and as you can see here that we presented 4 technology today, it's the very first session that we are conducting today. We will be coming up with more sessions in coming time, and these all things are learning. It's a learning in progress, right? So we will take all the feedbacks from you. What is it that we appreciated? What is it that where we lacked? So that when we come next time with the technology dissemination workshop, we are a little more better prepared for it. That certainly would be one thing. And because of the COVID time, we are doing it online. But the initial idea was when we enter into this kind of an agreement, or the conversation with CSIR was happening for quite some time. And the initial idea was that we will identify the potential area. For example, if you're talking about beekeeping, then we will identify the potential area where the beekeeping could be promoted, and we will demonstrate the technology there live with the potential takers. That plan is very much there. Once the situation is normal, we will certainly move to that mode of dissemination. But till that time, we are working with this online demonstration.
लेकिन उसमें भी हमारा ये है कि ये जो YouTube टाइप जो वीडियो है वो
After the right.
So even when we'll be working in physical mode, this kind of modules, video and audio modules, will be really helpful for the community people, because it's a kind of module for recipe, and every time when they have a trouble, they can go through these modules and they can learn from these modules. So I think whatever we are doing right now is almost doing a kind of preparation for the future. So we will be just recording all these modules, converting them into videos and audio formats, and sharing with our PIs through various platforms. So even if there is a component of physical training, these modules will be, audio video modules will be very, very important. And my request to CSIR is that besides PPT and besides these conversations which we are having through these discussions, if they can prepare small videos on the working of machines, that would be very helpful. The actual working will be very clear to the community people, and they will be able to learn from these videos.
And it will also act as a resource for the next batch. It's like, when we go and demonstrate, it happens one, and probably those who are present there, 10, 20, 15, whatever is the number of people, they get trained. But when we make these video resources, it could act as a, it is for infinity. As long as you want, anybody who wants can go and check. So all these things are there as we have planned. And in the meantime, maybe the request would be to everybody who is presenting the technology, if we could have a short video about how it worked, because the one we saw for the honey making with this bee box, right? So if such technologies or such videos are there, we connect more. We could see the actual working of it. तो ये एक अगर demonstration video रहेगा, तो initial link establish करने में समझने में थोड़ी आसानी होती है. It become a little easier to understand the things, right? So we will be moving it that way, and all suggestions from everybody is highly recommended. We encourage that. The compendium of that CSIR has developed for UBA. The initial idea was, let's identify the low-hanging fruits, जहाँ investment थोड़ा कम हो. Especially when we came together and we fast-tracked the entire process, it was keeping the migration that has happened because of this unfortunate COVID-19 situation. So इसलिए था कि resource intensive थोड़ा कम हो, technological know-how level भी थोड़ा कम चाहिए हो, so that people who are, so that we could underpin the livelihood generation activities. So based on that, CSIR and UBA, we all came together and we identified technology. The technology is available on the UBA website. So I would request everybody who is present here today to go and have a look at it. All the information, what is the cost of it, who has developed it, what is the scale of readiness, who, if there is a commercial supplier available, who all are there. All such informations are there, the contact of the organization, right? So the idea is that, of course, we are there to handhold, but then if somebody wants to fly solo, that option is also there. So in सारी चीजों को ध्यान में रख के, we have been working and we seek all your cooperation in that direction. Okay, so Dr. Naidu would be joining in a couple of minutes. Ranjana ji, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगी?
We talked to Dr. Naidu. He was saying like he is trying to reconnect.
Just give a minute. He will be there.
Yeah. Okay.
He is head of business. He's from India.
Okay.
Right. Right, so Dr. Ranjana, if you remember, when we had this meeting, the series of meeting that we had, we also agreed to have a nodal labs for various RCIs. Right, so that would be a request, because many of our RCIs are present here today. So if you could just talk a little bit about, while Dr. Naidu is joining, how is it that we plan to do it? उसकी activity हमने किस तरीके से plan की है?
Actually, what we were thinking about are the RCIs. Similarly, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan has networking of all the higher education institutions across the country. Similarly, CSIR is also having different laboratories across the country. So what we can do, once we shortlist the technologies, which are the labs which are participating, how we can, cross-link those labs. So we'll have to, first of all, identify the RCIs and the technologies they are interested in. And then we will do the mapping with CSIR laboratories, and there can be nodal scientists available for those particular technologies. So I think we'll have to do, yes, please.
Dr. Naidu is there now.
Dr. Naidu is there. So,
Okay.
So I think we'll have to do that matchmaking, how to proceed further. And it's a very good idea to have the, okay, let's listen Dr. Naidu first.
Can you audible? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
The presentation. Hello? Yes, Dr. Naidu, we can hear you.
Is it audible to you, ma'am?
Yes, it's audible. Yes.
Yeah. thanks, Arjun, for giving me and for sharing this rural technologies, particularly technology for manufacture of ginger paste. Next, please. Can you change the slide?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, please.
Yes. Thank you. Sure. Earlier, previous slide. Product. If you look at the ginger, it is viscous. It is used in all culinary preparations. In every home preparation or catering preparation, ginger paste is the essential commodity. And if you look at the ginger statistics, maybe 2005 and 6, it was very less. We are producing up to 3 lakhs to 4 lakh tons we are producing. Today, you can see that 2019, our production is number 1 in the worldwide. Almost 10 lakh metric tons we are producing now. So it is abundantly raw material is available in. Next slide, please. If you top 10 states this ginger production, Assam is the number 1. So and also is Assam whatever producing ginger is the very less fiber. It is well suited for this ginger paste technology. Next slide, please. And this is the ginger. Usually, India production is around almost, I explained about the 10 lakh metric tons. So usually this 20 to 24 days, it will take time for drying. And next slide. Next slide, sir. Next slide. These are the value added products. Bleached ginger, unbleached ginger, salted ginger, ginger preserve, ginger candy, all ginger paste, ginger powder. Most of these 6 to 8 technologies can be prepared in the rural area, rural home scale preparation itself. What we are discussing about here is only ginger paste. Ginger paste preparation. It's a washing. Three methods are very important: washing and size reduction, and can go for pasting and thermal processing. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is a flow chart for the ginger, typical flow chart for ginger preparation. If you take the fresh ginger rhizomes, overnight soaking, and then steeping solution to reduce the contamination, and cleaned ginger can be size reduced, and peeling can be done to remove the skin, and then go sorting, wet grinding. So mixing with ingredients like salt or acidulants can be and fine grinding and packing. Heat processing is very important here, thermal processing. Since it is a glass jars we are packing, so thermal processing is a must. Cooling. Next slide. So the ginger paste characteristics is a viscous product retaining the strong flavor of the raw material, namely fresh ginger. The volatile content in the product influenced by such factors: variety, raw material storage, and processing conditions. The product is generally creamy white or off-white color. The product is microbiologically stable and free from the pathogenic bacteria. So this is the uses we can use it. Ginger paste is mainly used as a spice in culinary preparations for imparting the characteristic fresh ginger flavor. It is ready to use preparations that can be used in the place of ginger in the homes, restaurants, and institutional caterings. These are the plant and machineries equipments is required, principal components and principal equipments and auxiliary equipments. And next slide. And this is the video we have, small video. This is the industries we have transferred the technologies already. Agarosa industry in Kerala. Yeah, please can you run that video, madam? Video, please.
Okay, we have not received the video.
We have video.
If you have it, you can present it from your end. Otherwise, we have not received the video.
We have sent already today morning. Otherwise, you.
Let us check if we have received statement. It seems like the video has been missed. I mean, if you have it, you can share it. Or otherwise, we will share
Yeah.
it later with everybody who is present today.
In the meantime, we can take some questions.
Right. So while we are looking for the video and we are sharing it, if there is any question, we would like to take it. Right. So let's start with Professor Vivek. If you have some query.
So, Dr. Naidu.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Naidu, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for a very thorough presentation. And what is the cost? Rough estimate.
This ginger paste, sir.
Yeah, for the machinery.
Raw material. Machinery. Home scale, you can see even with pressure cookers is there, even pressure cookers they can prepare. Mixie and pressure cooker in home scale. Even 5 kg, 2 kg, 10 kg like that. If you want beyond that, then we need to go for.
That is my another question. Can we divide the whole technology package in modular form?
Yes.
Right? And if we divide it in modular form, will it be viable?
Yes, it is a very viable. Even every month we are transferring one technology to one entrepreneur. Last 10 years we are doing.
So can we do like product wise? Can we make a small modular packages where we can? So for example, principal equipment. So are all equipment needed for any kind of products, or some equipment are needed for some products and some equipment are needed for some other products? So if it is like that, if we can make small module, that will be very helpful. And similarly, the same thing for auxiliary equipment. So I believe that all auxiliary equipment are not required for all kind of products, isn't it?
Yeah, not only for ginger paste, even you can make it even garlic paste also in the same machineries.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
So, sir, that would be very nice if we make small modules and or if we can prepare a value chain.
Yeah.
And also, like as you suggested, the ginger paste. So today's time, this ginger garlic combination of ginger garlic paste is, is very popular, especially in some, this pizzas and all these things, isn't it? It would be very nice. That would be very nice if we can prepare a value chain. Or effect chains and then prepare small modules of technology package.
Yes.
Now the video is ready. So I think we will continue with the question answer after the video. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
It is mostly influenced in the volatile air content, mostly variety, handling and processing conditions. The product is generally creamy white, off-white in color. The product is microbiologically stable and free from pathogenic bacteria. This product is packed in the glass jars. Preparation of this ginger paste is a raw material. Ginger rhizomes is the major raw material. And also this raw material is preferably less fiber varieties is preferable and high volatile content is preferable. High volatile is particularly 0.2 to 0.4% in the first rhizomes. These rhizomes must be good quality and free from the infestation and discoloration also. Other raw materials required is salt and acidulants. Usually this ginger paste is used in the culinary preparations to obtain the fresh ginger flavor. And it is also used in preparation where it is required in fresh ginger in the homes, restaurants and institutional caterings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think this is a very important or very good technology for Northeast
Yes.
states, Northeastern states. So if anybody is available from Northeastern states, from Near East or our RCI coordinators from Northeastern states, if they would like to ask anything. Professor Limfa, if you're there, or NIT Manipur, NIT Tripura, IIT Guwahati. But I see a very good case study through this technology. Probably we can have a independent discussion with our Northeastern RCIs and PIs, because I see great potential in this technology, and Dr. Naidu,
Yes, sir.
can we have complete commercial chain available, supply chain available
Yes,
for
it's
this
available, sir.
equipment and machinery?
Yes, it's available.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Naidu. Thank you very much. And
Dr. Vivek, I totally agree with you. This technology has lots of potential because when STATS carried out the survey, I think a couple of years back, so the farmers complained that most of their products, because they produce lots of ginger and lots of pineapple, so most of the products they have to sell, almost at the rate of pennies, or they just like throw it because they don't know how to do the value addition. So this is one of the technologies which can be utilized. And I think NIST Zorhat has also one technology on ginger. So we will explore that. So we can have 3-4 technologies, all the technologies which are available in CSIR for ginger processing, and we can have a comparative session with the RCIs and the technology developers. So then we
Right.
can have the plus and minuses of all the technologies, and even we can invite the farmers or the entrepreneurs, those who want to establish small units. So we
Yes,
can
yes.
have a establish session for ginger technology.
Yeah, in fact, we will involve Nectar also, because soon we will have a tripartite agreement with Nectar also, and probably Nectar also has got agreement with CSIR. I'm not very sure, but Nectar is working in the northeastern states, so I think that we'll have a very good synergy by bringing all stakeholders together. So I think that's a very great potential. We'll discuss about this, more in detail. Yeah, thank you.
Just, I want to add something here.
yes, please.
Yeah, so whichever machineries what we are going to use for processing of ginger, they are very generic one. So same machineries, if you are not able to utilize the capacity of the equipment, that can be repurposed and it can be used for processing other small food processing products also. So that way we can utilize the machines to its fullest capacity.
Right. So there is one query, since it has come, so I'll read it out. Can we preserve this paste for a long time? If yes, then what type of preservatives are using?
Yeah, it's usually one preservatives is using only sodium benzoate. It's allowed only 200 ppm. Shelf life can be extended up to 1 year.
Okay, and without that?
Without that, also 3 to 6 months we can store. But because of this is acidulants we are adding, pH adjustment and all, so there won't be any much problem.
I would like to have one question. How will you benchmark your product with the products available in the market?
Yes, most of the products is available with our technologies only. Even Ford Smith, Johnson and Smith.
Yes. See, if you look at this technology, goes back for a long time, and majority of the players in India, they have root with our technology. So that way it is, whenever you say about this particular product available in the market, this is with our technology directly or indirectly.
Okay. So to how many companies you have licensed it?
We have licensed it more than 20-25 companies.
Okay.
We have transferred this technology to some of the foreign companies as well.
Yeah, Thailand and other.
So it's a good technology, tested and tried.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Naidu. So with this, I think we have come to a conclusion of the program today. It was a wonderful session, started with the inaugural, we started on time, it was well presented, we could hear what Mantriji has to say, heard it from DG CSIR, Dr. Mande, Professor Ram Gopal Rao, Professor Vijay, and of course, Professor Vivek sitting next to me. We shared everybody's opinion, and as we all agree that, and the reason why we are all together here is that we all agree that all the words that have been put forward need to be translated into action. You know, it's always well done is better than well said. So I think we are all ready to translate all these words into actions. With this word, I would like to thank everybody who has come together, and we will come up with more such sessions. As I could see the 4 technologies that we have presented today, I could see that is one taker, Professor Sathansh is already there. He has said that he will take it up in the state of Haryana. Our RCIs from Northeast have not joined on this WebEx forum. They have joined us on the YouTube forum. That's why we are not able to hear them here today. But I could see that they will take it up soon. The other 2 technologies, one, of course, very useful. Value additions are good, but it's a capital intensive. And it happens whenever we are dealing with drying process, where the phase has to be changed. It's a very, very energy intensive system. That doesn't mean that it is not ranked high. It's just that it is capital intensive. The value additions of the agro residues, where we are using lignocellulosic waste to convert it into value-added product, is also there. And we will come up with more such technologies. I mean, even if I talk about this 50% diffusion that happened just in half an hour time, is a wonderful achievement. It's a wonderful achievement, right? And I would certainly would like to thank all our RCI coordinators who have come here to join us today on such a short notice. I understand we are all faculty members, semesters have started. So thank you very much for your wonderful time and cooperation that you have given. And I would also like to thank all our PIs who have joined us through the YouTube forum. Thank you very much. And we will come up with more informative session in coming times. Thank you very much. And I hope that you would enjoy a cup of tea. Make it yourself and enjoy that. Next time, till we meet in person and we have the honor of serving you the tea. So enjoy your cup of tea.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to you. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Wonderfully well organized by CSIR and UBA team. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, CSIR. Thank you, NISTAD, and congratulations on your foundation day one more time, Ranjana ji.
Yeah, बिल्कुल. Ranjana ji, आपको बहुत-बहुत बधाई.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining. And you made our foundation day very special. Our name is Science, Technology and Development Studies. So this is in the true sense we are taking science technology to the masses. So you truly made our foundation day very, very special. So thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And I am sure that our partnership will lead to bigger things in future.
Yeah, absolutely. We can look forward to, and obviously it's a very good synergy. So congratulations. Wish you all the best. We are there with you in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As it always happened, you always forget your family, and my entire team of UBA family here. It's like a family. They are sitting just next to me, and I must acknowledge their effort for putting up this one.
Yes.
Truly, thank you very much. Of course. Thank you. Thank you very much.
all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Namaste.